It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
Yes, welcome back to the Shop Report special presentation of the Turnbuckle. I, of course, am your host, none other than Creative Control Jay, and my guy to my right, your left, is none other than D Gully from Columbus.
Live
Where
on
are you
location
today?
from Virginia, from the VA, where ain't the dude but never mind. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia today.
Can you imagine that, right? I was there
Yeah.
once upon a time. I know I'll be on location in 2 weeks in Arizona, 2 weeks from then, Florida. So I'm going to try to keep up with the Joneses here.
Watch out now. Watch out. You do it better than I do it, man. I'm trying, bro. We need to be doing this in a way where we can interact with our fans live on location.
Yeah.
You tell us where to go, and we'll meet up there and we do the show. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to do, man.
I like that idea. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so obviously a ton to get into. We're off to a little bit of a later start, but I wanted everybody to be able to get there, not have to choose between Raw in the moment and then, and us simultaneously. That's not fair. So let's instead we'll dive right into it. First topic of the day: Elimination Chamber was announced at none other than the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Place that I frequented a time or two. And so, Gully, another PLE.
International.
Yep.
Get your passports ready if you're a WWE fan. If you don't already have them, need them for sure, right? Well, when it comes to Toronto, I mean, you do need to have your passport and all that now, with current climate or what have you. But it's like if you go further up in Maine, you might reach Toronto before you go to Maine if you stateside. So this is a little closer to home, but still the idea of it is it's still Canada, it's still international, all the same. So I think you were hinting at something. So I actually want to hear your thoughts about your opinions about WWE having another pay-per-view outside of the domestic, outside of stateside. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's just it. I think this is you hit the nail on the head there just by saying get your passport ready now. That
right.
They're putting the premium in premium live event, and that is premium price, premium location. And so what we've discussed theoretically months ago is now very much looking like actual fact with strategy.
Right.
And for me, I don't have a problem with this. I told you I thought it was maybe long overdue. This is what happened. So I did want to bring this up because I wanted to gauge your thoughts on it too, because a lot of people would have at least anticipated or assumed that something like this frequency of international events wouldn't have occurred in Vince's era. However, there was a report that came out a week ago saying that Vince is still involved, just very quietly and not like in the day-to-day. Like he still owns a part of it. He's just not as much as what he used to.
So he has a voice. He has a spirit.
That's what I'm wondering is technically, look, as a person that's been a part of multiple ownership stakes or just different equity levels, and there are layers and levels to it, but he's not just anybody.
No.
And we talked about, like, no different than Shane with an AEW move and how that would go. And just, again, just theoretically and strategically how they would maybe book things, etc. What I found the most odd about this is, how do those two go hand in hand? I think this is what you needed, is someone to evolve the brand from what it was, because I don't want to suggest that it plateaued necessarily, but they recognized that the old model of using, taking the circus by train wasn't necessarily the right way to go about it. So I think this is a sign of things to come. I think this is going to put more of an emphasis on that annual event that you may get in a town near you. And I'm all for it, because they're right. It's about time they really tapped into the global audience. But this ties into Netflix.
How so?
As we know, when they typically have a PLE on a weekend, it leads into either a SmackDown or Raw or some combination of the two that take place on location out that way. Often pre-recorded. They're now considering going live.
Okay.
So that would imply that you have a time difference.
Yeah, got you. So one thing that I wanted that you brought up when you were talking, like the idea of Vince having I suggested this Vince have a surrogate, in that he's still quietly behind the scenes, but he's still at the controls in some cases. Maybe this is simply what we needed, because maybe there had to be some governor, if you will, somebody that simply at a point or at a time just tell Vince no. You get what I'm saying? In which case, a lot of the good ideas would flow, but sometimes an idea would just be like, no, Vince, just no. No one had the capacity or the cojones, if you will, to say it. Well, I would say no one really had the capacity to say it, because even if they were brave or brazen enough to suggest it, Vince McMahon still manned enough of those controls that, he had the final say. So perhaps many of these good ideas, maybe they've come through someone else. Maybe someone else thought of them and they were good ideas, but the bad ideas from Vince have a governor now to stop them from coming in. And where Vince may be losing, given that his age or whatnot, given the way the media is changing and tastes are changing and the environments are changing, you just have to have somebody that control, 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at day, 3 legs at night, sort of thing. So he's still walking. He's got a 3rd leg. Watch it. I'm talking about a cane. Okay. And so this would allow Vince's presence still over the current direction and growth of the WWE as a global brand, of professional wrestling as a global brand, and without without many of the negatives that happened in later years with Vince manning the controls. And this is separate completely from the character, from the person and the serious allegations. The hardest thing for us to realize, and I think I'm gonna get on the soapbox here for a moment, is it is undeniable, just like for me, listening to an R. Kelly album, listening to a Biggie record, watching a product like WWE, understanding the person that is behind the origins or the growth of that which it is I watch.
His imprint a little bit.
Say again.
Does it taint it a little bit for you?
It is a bit jaded because I can't. It's really the same as watching Chris Benoit's total body of work.
Oh, for that. Well,
you right. I mean, watching his total body of work, do you know the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but we're watching this character, watching this side of him. We're participating in this aspect of someone's persona, someone's legacy. Do you appreciate that in which we're watching for the basis of its entertainment in that specific realm? Watching Vince McMahon as the founder and guiding voice behind WWE, separate from him and the more sinister behavior that he has behind, outside of the camera, that's not meant for anyone to see. And I say that, and I have to caution myself by saying that as if we wasn't supposed to know, so I'm gonna act like it doesn't happen. No, take into account that it did. That's not why I support or still appreciate what professional wrestling is. Just like I listen to Chocolate Factory or TP2.com or 12 Play or whatever, or I Believe I Could Fly, or I Am Here, anything that R. Kelly produced, or You Are Not Alone for Michael Jackson, who's another tree of this tainted branch of entertainers that have given us such great moments in our culture and in our background and in our history while having some difficult aspects of their life. Can you separate the two? I like that you cannot. I almost think that you have to, because the difference is everybody's closet is not open for everyone to see.
And some are trapped in it.
Yes, here we go.
And so, yeah, it'll be interesting, right? I mean, this is what is really unique about the current affairs of the brand. Something I'm going to throw at you quickly. Speaking of the change in dynamic, right? And how the evolution of the entire wrestling entertainment space comes from our first Tell Me You Did Not Just Say That segment, which is from Mark Calloway, otherwise better known as The Undertaker, from his 6 Feet Under podcast. And he emphasized this, and I'm going to quote here: "Man, you need to get off Twitter and figure out why you're not drawing anything. In an age where social media is king, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing likes and reacting to online criticism. But for the Phenom, the key to success has always been simple: putting in the work where it counts, inside the ring. Young wrestlers today might see this as an old school thinking, but there's wisdom in it. Building genuine interest and captivating the audience."
Hold on. We got our host. We got Barbershop Jay. We got him live on Instagram while we on the show.
No, you don't. No, I wasn't clicking the button. I was trying to make a comment.
You trying to make a comment? Now you in the video. Oh, now you on Instagram with us. Oh, well, we doing the Turnbuckle, so we on Facebook right now.
No, you gotta pull him now towards me.
Yeah, I thought you was.
I don't know nothing about turnbuckles or belt buckles. Where you find my
man, when you here, bro, you here now.
Okay, well, I don't see nobody else. But you doing this by yourself?
Well, yeah, since we're still working on getting Instagram together for us while we go live. So one of the ways to do it is I go live on Instagram myself, and then what I thought happened was I thought you were Double J coming in, so that's how we can go live on Instagram while we get that official channel, that official method.
Okay. So either way, I was trying to get in contact with all, but I'm on a break right now. But since I got you.
Hold on. Remember, we live now. We live on the show now.
that can't be retracted.
Okay.
You know, once it's out there, it's out there.
Okay.
Fictional character.
Since I'm here with Double J, can see you too, right?
He can hear you. Yeah. He can hear you.
Oh, he can hear me.
Yep.
Okay,
He can see you now. Yeah, we got you right here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you in the basement.
No, I'm in Virginia, bro.
You on punishment?
No, I'm live in Virginia, bro.
All right, well,
I love it.
Ridge Mountains. Hey, I'm gonna leave with something in the Discord on the admin side for both of y'all. So just be on the lookout for it, okay?
Okay, we'll do. We'll do.
Better not be no PTO for Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah, he said it better not be a PTO request for Wednesday.
It basically, it's not.
All right, we'll check it out though. We'll check it out. Yeah, it sounds like there might be one, but we'll be all right though.
Yeah, I'll holler back.
All right now. Yo, so
all right, so I'll
Double J.
Yep.
Double J. Find me WYM Gully. I'm live on IG. Find me if you got a means to be able to get me on Instagram, so that way we can give them the show on Instagram while we still here through our other channels.
What it is though? He's got the access to that page.
No, I'm just saying, but if you just what I'm saying, Double J, can you go?
Oh, like on my page. Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you? Yeah, do you want to just go?
There you go.
That way we can get find me. I see More Than Music P. Oh, I think he was still here. Yeah, that's my buddy, man. That's my guy right here. Yep. All right, cool. So request Digital Prophet.
All right. Hang on. Boy, this is going to be difficult to navigate the two.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a second device?
No, I do, but I'm saying well, I guess you would be managing the other side, huh?
Yeah, all I'm doing is holding it in my hand, the phone, and just going. So that way our Instagram people can see us. Well,
right now, hang on, I'll message it. Hang on. But yeah, so hang on, I'm going to read this to you really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so young wrestlers today might see this as old school thinking, but there's wisdom in it. Building genuine interest and captivating the audience is an art that goes beyond viral tweets and quick social media hits. It's about storytelling, emotion, and refining those skills that make a match unforgettable. What say you to that?
Well, I think right. That's the Undertaker that was mentioned, that was expressing his giving his thoughts about talent using social media to build their brand, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I get it. The first call out that I have immediately is this working for any talent, notably? Is it working in any significant way for any talent? And is it working for any notable talent in a significant way? So two-part question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this helping to build anybody from AEW right now? I mean, kind of think no. I mean, for us getting out here, us on our commentary and our opinions about professional wrestling, because we brand ourselves as a media outlet, as a voice, talking heads, if you want to call it that, whatever. It makes sense for us. But does this help any in ring? Like, is Braun Breaker benefiting from doing this? If he is, I'm just throwing a name out there that may be familiar to the audience. I don't know that it's working. So I was surprised to see him having thoughts on it, because it seems like this is a trend that talent is trying to follow. And I didn't even know that it was, and that it is working. So that's my first and biggest question to what he's saying, because I don't disagree with him. Actually, I don't disagree with him. But if it is working, then we got to appreciate that. That's part of the changing and the evolution of media and entertainment. Like, for example,
I'm going to say it to you this way. I'm going to interject a little bit here and
okay.
Say this. So you've seen social media is giving people access that historically you would have only had either by way of a paywall of some kind, or like a meet and greet type of thing, or we'll say like post premium live event, but with social media naturally comes what can be deemed more candid takes, right? Because it's behind the convenience of a screen.
Okay.
So his point, which really we've talked about, there's the inexcuse for when it came to building people in the future about the role that social media would play. So what you're finding is that there's this really delicate and undefined relevance with the platform. There's very much a love-hate, as you're saying, right? It can, that's his comments can be taken out of context from just the old school approach. You didn't have to deal with this, old man. Get off my lawn.
Right.
And so what we've seen is people like Samantha Irvin, right? When she was leaving.
Yep.
Badgering her with questions. Oh, you're going to AEW. Ricochet, this is your fault. When the Usos botched.
Yeah.
When Jade botched.
Yeah.
People were, again, so people have responded, right? MVP responded to somebody. Mark Henry has responded to people.
Yep.
And so it's not, it is really interesting.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Hold on 1 second. We got a technical issue. I'll be right back with you.
Well, and while he's getting that addressed, that's the beauty of live TV. We will take our first commercial break.
It's Kay Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report. Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report. It's Braxton Key, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Man, works at Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same as what my friends were enjoying, and I started making up my own recipes. When it was time to pick a career, I decided to start a bakery so I could share my treats with everybody else. When I started creating my recipe, I was taking in all the things that I thought I was missing out on. A soft, chewy center, a crisp outside crust, and a taste that is just like it came out of the oven at a bakery. When I put all those things together, I had come up with a recipe for a dream cookie. Eddie G's Cookies only uses the finest ingredients. We have all natural flavorings, no preservatives, and every cookie is made in a nut-free environment. The best part about Eddie G's Cookies is that they can be delivered right to your door. You can share them or not. We won't tell.
Cleaning the cracks on your pavement surfaces can take hours and be torturous on your body. Until now. Buy Cracky Weed Removal Tool was designed specifically to clean pavement cracks in a fraction of the time, all while standing up. Bicracky's patented design incorporates a two-sided steel blade and is encased by a durable fiberglass shell. Simply use the large end to clean big gaps, then rotate and use the small tip for narrow gaps. Made in the USA, Bicracky eliminates weeds to the root and is environmentally friendly. Bicracky, save your back while you clean your crack.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on More, and then Shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the Shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
All right, and just like that, we are back. Again, just finalizing our Tell Me You Did Not Just Say That segment. There is merit to what Taker's saying. 100% agree with him. However, this is where, thankfully, there's teams that are going to have to be dedicated to building these individuals' social careers, and ultimately separating the kayfabe aspects of this as well. So I understand the human aspect of it and the reach that people have today, but unfortunately it just comes with the territory. And so with that being said, moving right along, we did want to dive into this past week's Collision, in which case, of course, it opened with the House of Black, which of course is Malachi Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and they went against the Iron Savages and Jack Jameson. Obviously, this one was, it kind of got away right from the jump. It just, tags became optional, I guess would be the nice, polite way of me summarizing that. I didn't know that became a thing. I do appreciate it for, again, wabi sabi, right? However, if I were to give my grade on it, I would give this a solid 3 out of 5, maybe 2.5. We'll go 2.5 out of 5. The HOB entrance, I don't want to say it's undefeated, but it certainly is up there. But otherwise, I don't know. I think it was just, it almost felt filler-esque, if you will. Moving right along, of course, later in the show, we had the Outrunners versus Top Flight, and saw some good locks. Again, it built appropriately, I would have said. Naturally, they were joined, at least off in the distance. You had Private Party over there. And, again, the Outrunners looked like they were building some momentum in this thing. And ultimately, they were able to get over and the defeated Top Flight. This, for me, first, the pilot uniforms going away. Good call. Solid 3 out of 5 on my end. Like what they're doing here. And we'll keep the AEW recap rolling in a speed version. We had Roderick Strong versus the Beast Mortos. And this, of course, was Roddy's kind of trying to gain an additional win in order to, of course, ultimately challenge MJF. And he was able to do exactly that. I actually was a little positively impressed with the physicality of it. I expect, you kind of expect that from at least, from the Beast Mortos, but overall, it was good to see him score the victory. I do want to point out that Lance Archer, of course, did intervene after the fact. So just something to kind of keep an eye on. We could very well see some music that needs to be tweaked as it pertains to on Lance's end. It seems a little light, I guess is how I would summarize that. And then finally, we had the TNT Championship Open Challenge, which was, of course, your champion, Jack Perry, and Action Andretti. Of course, to the surprise of none, he just, unfortunately, the high flyer, as I would call him. It was fun. It was helter-skelter at times. Perry was able to, of course, retain. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it definitely was a little bit better than otherwise advertised for me. And so definitely wanted to give credit where credit was due on this one. And then quickly moving along, because we got a lot to break down in a little bit of time. We're awaiting Gully, who's having some technical difficulties too. I'm going to throw this up here. I saw this a little earlier. Wanted to gauge everybody's thoughts on this. It's the POV. It's the early 90s in WCW, and you just don't have the right talent. Sometimes timing is everything. And while we chew on that, I'll take a quick 30-second break and get Gully right back in here.
What it do, sports fans? It's your man BSJ from the Shop Report. And guess what? The shop is now open for business, baby. If you're on Facebook, go to our fan page, The Shop Report, click on More, and then Shop to view all products. Or if you're on Instagram, click on the Shop tab to see all our products. I mean, what you want me to do? I'm selling merch here.
All right, and just like that, we are back. D. Gully, take a look at this here. POV, it's the early 90s in WCW, and you just don't have the right talent.
Wow.
What do you make of that?
Every single one of them. Every single one of them were made in the WWE. Every single one.
Isn't that something? What do you take?
The only difference is I think the one that they sorely missed the mark on, in my opinion, is Steve Austin. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like the Hollywood Blondes gimmick, him and Brian Pillman, I felt like that was really working.
I do too. And actually, there were a few, man, oh my gosh, this is going to bother me now. Do you remember what made Steve leave? There was a particular, I don't want to say it was a falling out, but there was something that occurred. And I feel like, I don't think it was just like, it wasn't like a money thing. But I do remember watching it in one of the documentaries where he kind of referenced why.
No, in so many words, they felt like he was creatively limited.
Oh.
I think that after the Hollywood Blondes, because I want to say Brian Pillman got injured, so they didn't have, so it was just him, and they felt like he was limited, so they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't think he had much more to offer besides that, so he ran his course.
Wow. And then, of course, you could thank that curtain call.
Yeah.
Just as the heads up, we did do a quick speed run through the collision from over the weekend.
Gotcha.
And so just to kind of keep things moving here, our next segment is Pick Your Dream Faction. This comes courtesy of Sports Kita. All right, you have to pick one from each group.
Okay.
And then I'm going to end up throwing a question that I actually got from my brother that will lead us right into WWE.
All right, bet.
But go ahead, Gully. Start with your powerhouse. Who in your dream faction?
Oh, I thought this was the 15. I thought this was the $15 one.
Oh no, I see no dollar amounts here.
Okay. Dream faction. Dream faction. Don Callis, Paul Heyman, Bobby Heenan, Jimmy Hart, Paul Bearer. A faction. All right. So for me, every faction. You know what I like about the powerhouse? None of those guys are good enough. Not a single one. Which is pretty well, Kane became that when he became more of a comedian. But I like that because it actually provides a second level of parody. But I'll go with, you actually put Vader in the high flyer. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'll go with man, another guy with a character issue. I would go with Lesnar, Styles. Ooh, wow. Lesnar, Styles, Undertaker, Dudley Boys. Lesnar, Styles, Undertaker, Dudley. And either Paul Heyman or Bobby Heenan. Oh man. I'll say Paul Heyman. And why would I pick the Dudleys over that entire group? I don't have any high flyers in there. Why did I pick the Dudleys over Edge and Christian or the Hardy Boys? No, because you know what? The Dudleys are big guys that actually can do high spots. Has evidenced by the triple threat tag team matches of the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. So no, I'm sticking with my group.
Hey, look, I think that's a fantastic selection. And it leads into my next question, which is, who is the face of WWE today?
I still think it's Roman.
Oh, I didn't see it coming either until my brother decided a little earlier to say that it was Roman Reigns. And
I still think it's Roman.
Well, now wait a minute. Hang on. It was reported that Roman's salary increased from, I think, 1 or 2 million to 15.
No way.
Yeah, no way. I hate to be pocket watching here, but
No way. You talking about a 100, a 700?
Because my brother's a huge UFC guy, right? And he saw him on ESPN or something with one of the UFC guys, and just so happened I had seen, he started laughing, saying like, "Oh, what's this about?" And obviously the TKO umbrella, and now you're starting to see that crossover that I once theorized could be possible as well. And then I was like, "But why him?" And he was like, "Well, he's the face of WWE." And I'm like, "No, he can't be. Who's the champion?"
I think Roman is the face of WWE. And I hate to slight Cody in that way, but we kind of been doing that all year to him, really, ever since he finished this story. But considering the pop and considering the appreciation, the merch sales, the interest in the next direction of the Bloodline story. So whether you're working it or shooting it, Roman Reigns seems to garner the most attention and the most curiosity, the most interest. I would like Cody to be in that place, but I don't think he is. And it maybe it's just the way that they happen. I think it's because they were able to book Roman and the Bloodline. It was as great as it is to book, it's also fairly easy. And that's not necessarily a diss in the sense that, sometimes, I mean, it's like this. If your dad say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna give you your first car," I know you had the appreciation for wanting to have your car and maybe on the way, but if he like just throw an Audi at you, it's an Audi. I mean, it is what it is. So what the Bloodline story is able to be in the different layers and how long it's went, and because of the talent that's there, all of those things, and Roman Reigns being the head of the table, original tribal chief, however you want to call it, and the way he's been able to position himself and do the job of meeting the standards and showing up for the pay-per-views and having great matches, even if you find them predictable. He's that guy. He's been able to do something that they haven't quite been able to figure out with with Cody Rhodes. Cody needed a heel. Cody needed somebody to be battling with him for it. He didn't need to be an everyman's champ. He didn't need to do that. Like, this should have been the year that Cody and AJ or Cody and LA Knight battled it out for the year. That's what should have happened. You give a guy who's been established, who's had many seasons under the sun, being that guy, hey, I'm going to do the People's Parade of Champions. That's when you give it to John Cena, like when he did several years ago, and everybody who wanted to step up, they would step up. Didn't he also do that with the IC title?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Cena hasn't had that yet. He has not had he's never been an Intercontinental champion. He's been a US champion, right?
What if I told you this? Yeah, I'm gonna table it. That's why I'm gonna follow up with it. But yes, continue.
Okay. No, you got it. Go ahead.
No. Finish your thoughts on this, because this is something I would have never imagined would occur first in this order. I'm just leaving it at that. So don't think too much into it.
All right, no. So I'm saying that's why, because of his booking and because of his consistency and because of whatever happened with Paul Heyman taking Roman Reigns under his wing and developing Roman Reigns the character and fleshing it out and really turning him into the superstar of this generation that I think fans wanted him, but was being forced based off of the way that, dare I say, Vince McMahon thought of a traditional next guy up should be booked. the face of the franchise, if you will. Roman Reigns was retooled, re-engineered, reworked, and coached better. Look at the Cavs under Atkinson. The same Cavs with the same roster under Atkinson is 12-0 now, and but they struggle with JB Bickerstaff. It's a different conversation for a different day, but the concept is the same. Roman Reigns is that guy now. Cody needs that same type of push. He deserves to be WWE champ. He deserves to be Universal champ. He deserves to be undisputed champ. But he also deserves to have compelling stories and compelling booking. And I don't think he fails to deliver there. As you just did, remember, we're talking about professional wrestling, right? So it's scripted. They put the guys in front of you for you to face. And he don't have, and lacking that sort of creative control to be able to say, I want this match, I want this angle, I want this feud, I want this program. Lacking that, you need the people around you, the powers that be, the gatekeepers, to put the proper gates in front of you. He don't have that. So now this is what you get. You get chickens thrown in the ring. And he should have that type of booking. He should have great matches. He should have angles with legitimate contenders. He should be going back and forth with Randy Orton, not Randy Orton going back and forth with Kevin Owens. Neither of them need that type of help at this stage of their careers. But that's my TED Talk.
No, I mean, I don't disagree. You're right about the booking part, and that'll always kind of be the subject of scrutiny. A lot of people have very different takes. I've noticed across the board about, and I love that people can claim that Cody's run is one of the best that they've ever seen. I think what it will lack, at least at the moment for me, is when you go through that list of who he's beaten once he became champion, not just becoming champion. But once that title run occurred, then you can, I don't know if that part of it currently in its format would be able to withstand the test of time, the way that we brought up Roman's in particular. But as far as who's the face, I will say this publicly, what has been said behind the scenes is that they do love what Cody's done as champion. They love his, what he's able to do outside of the squared circle.
That's what I need. I need to hear from those who loved this run,
Yeah, because, honestly, this is a public program, as Barbershop Jay would say.
Right.
This is open.
It's a public petition.
It's a barbershop. Too. Like, you can't just sit on the sideline. You can't be the quiet one in the corner at the barbershop.
Yeah, help us see it. Like, if you see it out
you'll
there,
you'll be a victim that way. Like that way.
Right. Yeah. right. Right. If you see it differently, because I think both you and I, Double J, we kind of see it the same. We see it like a tragic. It's tragic because it should be better than what he should be giving. He should be getting better than what he's having to deliver with. I love the Gunther match. I like the fact that they did have Gunther. I think that was one of the most interesting, surprising events of his title run. That champion versus champion kind of invitational. Like, yeah, let's see who the best. The fact that they're gonna keep that belt in Crown Jewel and it never leave, you just get the rings. That kind of sucks. You don't even get to, you don't even get to walk around with it. Oh well. But
you can see that there. I won by a point.
You won by a point.
Less than.
All right. Oh, by the way, I had to say, so Connor versus Chuba, they both got a touchdown, but Chuba had like 100, probably 130 more.
Oh no,
yards.
dude, yeah, you didn't go wrong either way.
No, you
did.
Don't
feel bad about that.
Yeah, you
can't
did.
Feel bad about that. I went the one way, and you went the other way, but both were, I think, top 10 this week.
So Connor, it was still top 10 this week?
Dude, hang on. I'll pull up his number right now. I'm just for the sake of
This is a turnbuckle commercial break for NFL.
Yeah, he had 28 in my league.
Who?
James Conner.
How?
This is what I'm telling you. That was not a bad game, dude. Yes, he had 50. So maybe in standard, you might have been hurt.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Even though it was a blowout, he had 33 rushing yards. He had the touch. So again, even in a standard league, the 3 and the 6, all right, you're at 9. But he had 80 receiving yards plus 5 receptions. So
I didn't see that. Oh, okay.
Yep. So in the PPR format, even non-PPR, you're still getting the 80 yards receiving. So regardless, he did all right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you didn't let anybody down there.
See, there we go.
One I wanted to double check on was Sutton, because I was concerned, but he ended up with 22.
Got you.
So everyone that had questions over, just a quick touch on Saturday, hey, look, man, if they lost, they made some other decisions that were bad. Or they ran into
didn't follow doctor's recommendations.
There you go. So take 1, not 2, and that leads into my next question here before we quickly recap Raw and then dive into close out with the Name That Superstar. Sheamus was on speed on Wednesday, and
that don't sound right.
Now wait a minute. I'm not done.
Okay.
And got into it with Braun Breaker. Speaking of tonight's Raw, but more so in the future. Those two did get into it and exchange words, but it is now confirmed they will be going one-on-one next week for the IC title. Coincidentally, similar to John Cena and Cody Rhodes, for that matter. In this case, if Sheamus were to get that belt, if he were to get over next week, he would have the Grand Slam.
Sheamus would have the Grand Slam. He's had WWE title. He's had World Heavyweight title. He's had U.S. title, and he'd have the Intercontinental title. He'd be a Grand Slam winner.
So my question to you, Gully, I just brought up some other names: John Cena, Cody Rhodes, on no doubt Hall of Famers, right?
Right.
That's fair.
Right.
If Sheamus were to do it first, before them, what does that say?
I think people will forget because it's about momentum, right? It's about momentum. See, that's where a guy's over enough, where he's been established enough, and he's been at the top of the program, and he's coming back after a hiatus or being released some years later. Winning the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title seems great for him, but it seems like it's more or less transitional than a progression. So that's why, all right, John Cena having a run at the United States Championship so late in his career after 15 instances of being the WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, or Universal champion seems a little bit missing. Now, I say all that, even as I say it now, coming to rethink it, Sheamus doesn't have the decorated run that Cena has. So maybe even for Sheamus, it might actually do more. It might actually be more of progression than that I described than transitional. So it probably would work for Sheamus to be that, to be that champ. And will it put him back in the main event, late card, main event card position? I think it would. The question is also, how likely is he to win that title? Is that going to be the next feud for Braun Breaker and Sheamus over that IC title? Are they going to run that story? That would be helpful for Sheamus and Braun Breaker. But if Sheamus does win that Grand Slam ahead of Cody and ahead of Cena, I think it's worth noting. I think that would be the thing that you would want to say, you would want to hint at every now and again on the show to try to nudge Sheamus into a main event pay-per-view match with one or the other. Particularly John Cena, because he said he is on his retirement run. I've yet to see him wrestle once since he announced that run. So I don't know who he's going to wrestle in the next 7 months or whatever he has. So it might be John Cena. So that would be cool for Sheamus to win that title, actually, and carry that into a match with John Cena.
That could be. It could just be, I don't know, maybe there's more to it, right? Does that cement Sheamus as a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm not the biggest fan of what he's doing now, but historically, I mean, he's that guy. He's been that guy. He's been a pretty decent worker. I mean, think about it. He beat Daniel Bryan in like 7 seconds with a bro kick.
Right.
For the title, at a pay-per-view, at a WrestleMania.
That's what I'm saying, man. Look, don't get me wrong. Cody Rhodes' pedigree for his career, no problem. Like, I would be an absolute hater, if I were like, oh, he didn't beat anybody. No, he has. Sheamus has too.
What Cody lacks is a memorable feud, is what we saying.
Okay, so what? All right, so I'll bring up SmackDown. Okay. Cody came to Randy's aid when KO did the nicest pile driver I've ever seen. And I mean, well, again, given the injury history, but Randy is now, of course, out indefinitely. But Cody came to Randy's aid. So is this the potential feud brewing that we'll see soon between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes?
Possibly. And actually, I hope so.
Before we take our next break and conclude Raw.
What is this?
The Rock.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Graced the Gentleman's Quarterly magazine Man of the Year edition.
What are you doing?
Does this give hope to us all over 40? Which I'm not yet.
It should. I mean, it's goals, man. Like, you can actually get into the best shape of your life. Actually, at 40, with some discipline and some work, and stop eating these cookies that I just bought from Walmart on my way to this room here, I actually can be in better shape in my 40s than I was in my 20s. That's actually
the public shaming here.
What are you talking about? Who? Shaming who? You and me? Look.
Hey, bro, it was feeling a little. I was catching strays here.
Yeah, no, look at this, bro.
So, I'm with you. Fantastic. I think, of course, this is a sign of things to come, perhaps, with what's around the corner, Mania season wise. But I'll let you finish. Yep.
Yeah. With that, though, it's a couple of things. When's he showing back up again? Is he going to be John Cena's last match? Are they gonna cross paths in John Cena's retirement tour? Who else is on the slate for John Cena's retirement tour? And why can't it be Kevin Owens or Cody Rhodes? I don't know. But those are a lot of questions.
That's right. And the Jabroni edition is naturally with an additional fee. So
right.
With that, we'll take our quick timeout. Again, 125. We'll see you back. Quickly wrap up Raw. Conclude with Name That Superstar. Stay tuned and absolutely chime in as well.
SK Cunningham, and you watching the Shop Report. I'm Homie Diallo, and you watching the Shop Report. My name's Chris Murray, and you're watching the Shop Report. Oh, you're Jay Knight, you're watching the Shop Report. Max McKee, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Hi, I'm Mars Edwards from Mercury Stadium, and you're watching the Shock Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
Hey, this is Doug Flynn of the New York Mets. Well, a few other teams, of course, too. And you're watching the Shop Report.
I'm Matt Ramos, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? I'm Rajay Davis, and you're watching the Shop Report.
How you doing? This is Nelson Figueroa, former Major League pitcher with a lot of teams. You're about to listen to the Shop Report. Hey, this is Howard Johnson. You're watching the Shop Report.
Hi, I'm Heath Bell from the New York Mets, and you're listening to the Shop Report podcast. Yeah!
Hey, I'm Josh Tolley, former catcher of the New York Mets, and you're watching the Shop Report.
This is Edgardo Alfonso for the Mets, and you're listening to Shop Report.
All right, and welcome back. Moving right into this evening's Raw. Of course, we had the return of Dakota Kai, and ultimately Damage Control was victorious over Passion Fruit Juice. Gully, I had you build an ultimate faction earlier.
Yeah.
What we may have to do is the worst factions of all time. And
we need to bring that up.
I don't think it's ever been done, and so it would literally be. I mean, I would have to kind of.
We got to get to work on that.
Yeah.
Say less. Move on. We got to get to work on that.
Yep. So, nevertheless, Passion Fruit Juice. You may at least get some additional kudos from us. In the meantime, additionally, tonight we had a feud brewing that was with due to Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed getting into a brawl. Surprise, surprise. Of course, separated them. Adam Pearce then announced that they will have a rematch next week. Sami Zayn approaches Seth, asks him to join Roman and the Usos in War Games. Seth declines and says he is shocked anyone would ever stand by Roman after the tyrant that he was. Who do you see being the additional member on each side?
So wait a minute. Who do we have already?
What's that?
Who do we have already?
So right now, again, originally we had earlier in that evening, we had Sami Zayn and the Usos discussing who they should ask to join them in Roman Reigns. So again,
we got Roman, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. They need a fifth.
There's four. They need a fifth. Yes, correct.
Okay. Versus the Bloodline.
The new Bloodline. Yes,
the
versus
new
the OG.
Bloodline.
Yeah.
Who do I see as a first? All right.
Oh, whoa. I think we just touched on it by accident.
Cody
and Kevin Owens.
Cody being with Roman and Kevin Owens with the new Bloodline. Wait a minute. What was the result of Cody's match with Roman when they paired up as a tag team? They won?
Yes. Yeah, that was right before at Bad Blood, right?
Right. They won? Yeah, I think they won. You gotta know these things. Sorry, guys. You gotta know these things.
How do you feel about LA Knight, while we're figuring this out, being the new face of Slim Jim with some Macho Man in the background?
They not bad. Not bad. I don't know who is there someone better that you could have thought would have done it? Is there a better WWE talent to do that spot if they were going to give it to a WWE wrestler? See, the problem is
who has the charisma that can match the Macho Man?
That's the problem. There isn't. So whomever followed the Macho Man can't be the Macho Man. And so if you're comparing it to Macho Man, everybody's going to fall short. Unless it's The Rock. But that's not on brand for The Rock. The Rock and Slim Jim, that's not on brand for The Rock.
What if they went vegan or something? Plant-based Slim Jim.
What? What? Man, get out of here, man. Get all the way out. Plant-based.
Hey, so we did have just to confirm here before I do move on. Yes, that was a victory for Roman and Cody because of remember Roman was going to walk off, and then Jimmy Uso came out, told him to go back, and then they went after because Cody was going to get demolished in the ring.
Yep.
And then, of course, the final boss came out, and this is where it gets interesting, right? Because he never really makes it clear which side of this he's on, and he's got a title in his hands.
Are you talking about Roman? I mean, The Rock.
Yeah. He just kind of looks at Roman and does the 2 fingers to the throat thing.
No, he did. It was a few gestures with that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it was a few gestures with that he did. And yeah, there were a few gestures, and so I think the purpose is that he's going to unite the entire bloodline, and he is that guy. Because remember, who got the pin on night 1 of WrestleMania? Wasn't it The Rock?
Mm-hmm.
That pinned Cody?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So of all the
That's
chaos,
why he did the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Of all the chaos, right? He's the one that he can get it done. So he may disapprove of the way that the new bloodline is not dominating the way they should. The fact that Roman betrayed and retreated, and he didn't stay on top the way he should have, and the bloodline runs through the final boss, and I'm the final boss for the reason. And I know I alone have stood on top of the mountain. I've done everything you're trying to do. I've been there. I can do it. This is how the bloodline should be moving. This is how we should be dominated. Under me, everyone will fall in line. I am the final boss. I am the tribal chief. Let me show you how it's done. I am the people's champ. I'll be WWE champ, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. That's one way of spinning that narrative.
Well, I think you're certainly onto something. We've actually we've done quite well with this throughout really the entire calendar year.
Yeah. In terms of picking, how it's going to go, right? It was almost as if we were in the writing room.
I know.
Uh-oh, here it is.
And of course they lost to Butch, and naturally there was some words exchanged. So what occurs? Does Big E simmer this down in a triumphant return of some kind, or does the unfortunate heel turn occur?
Who goes heel?
I think everyone's wanted to, this is one of those, we do this all the time with the sports side, right? The favorite would be Xavier Woods. But that underdog, the underdog of it being Kofi, with some juiced odds, it's just, it's kind of that meme of the guy looking back.
Yeah, see, if I got if my memory serves me correctly, Xavier's already been a heel. Okay, right. I think that's how he broke into the main roster, right? He first introduced, he was a heel.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it was just a long time ago.
Right. So it worked for him as a heel. I don't know if Kofi can be a heel. I don't think it works. I think some guys just need to be a face. Like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was never a heel in his entire professional career. And it worked for him. It made sense. Kofi might be another one of those guys. Therefore, Xavier Woods eventually will go heel, which will be refreshing for the New Day. And I think that they're due for some really great matches. Oh, I would love for them to implode and lead that into SummerSlam. Oh, man, that would be great. Kofi versus Xavier. Oh, that would be so great for a night one WrestleMania mid to late card.
You know what? And I think, once again, there it is. If it's not me, it's him.
Yeah, that would be the one. Now, what do we have here?
This is Damian Priest pinning Ludwig Kaiser, who, of course, has returned from injury. And that ultimately is going to set up this here at Survivor Series. Of course, that is none other than Gunther and Damian Priest. Gully, how do you see that one? If he were to lose, that being, if Priest were to lose at Survivor Series, does he stay in the mix for in the IC title picture?
Yeah. Who stays in the mix for the IC title picture? I don't know if he'll lose, though.
I don't either. And that's why I'm really kind of, when we talked about the mid-card running wild once upon a time.
Right.
There's thankfully there will be no sports betting on WWE. That was shot down earlier this past week.
Right.
And rightfully so, right? But if there were, I'm not sure how I would go about. I think I would probably stay away from this one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't be convinced enough. I think Gunther would be the obvious winner, or at least that would be the favorite, but I could absolutely see the upset occurring.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of would want it to happen, because I think they're good. They're good for a good feud between each other.
Oh, absolutely. I think Gunther can feud with anybody.
Yeah, and Gunther can. I think at this time, Gunther can survive a world title loss, even though he's just lost a match against the Universal Champion. I think Gunther can still handle a world title loss, and I'm not certain if Damian Priest could.
Yeah, and that's I agree. I agree. Lastly, we had, of course, Finn Balor asking Dom and Carlito to do him and JD a favor by going against the Viking Raiders next week. Or I'm sorry, the War Raiders, my bad. Naturally, what Protect Carlito comes to mind. I think he is inevitable to be a Wyatt 6 victim.
Carlito?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
He's, if you remember, Raquel said about like a week or two ago, what do you even do here?
Right.
And then, of course, he left the LWO. So again, leaving your family, if you will. That can be interpreted actually to both of them. But I think Dom, of course, is too.
It sounds like he's got a It sounds like he's got a R2 type of trajectory right now. He just bouncing around trying to find a home, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
that right there, it sounds pretty interesting. Like, we're just gonna do find a home. Yeah, Wyatt 6 gonna have you one. Go put on this mask and go sit cross-legged in the corner and huddle over a dial. Like they got some nightmares that you can help them create. So yeah, I can imagine that with his hair. You know what I'm saying? Giving that Mankind a repetitive nod like this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, that'll be cool. That'll be neat to see. But yeah, okay. I would like to see them, what it would be. We need to see more of Bo Dallas leading this group, but Bo Dallas in the ring. I want to see what these guys do. The stories that they can tell in and during a match to help elevate and amplify the Wyatt 6. Like, imagine if the Wyatt 6 would put themselves in a position, Braun Breaker wouldn't be the type. He wouldn't be. It's too different, too much of a contrast, I think, to try to put him in a feud with a group like the Wyatt 6. Because Braun needs to be a heel or anti-hero at best. Feuding with the Wyatt 6 don't do that for you. But I wish there was a feud that by which the Wyatt 6, led by Bo Dallas, could get themselves involved in that does have title landscape implications. So whomever goes to the ring, they're facing Bo Dallas, or I'm sorry, Uncle Howdy, and they're subject to have to deal with all the others while defending their title. I think belts matter in that case. So I'd like to see that. I want to see Bo Dallas do more inside of the ring. I want to see all of them do more inside of the ring. In addition to the stories that they're telling outside of the ring. So, because in the end, wrestling is wrestling. That's what you want to see.
Agreed. And yeah, I think I completely echo those sentiments. And so with that being said, we'll take our last commercial break and dive right into our Name That Superstar segment. And boy, do I have a few doozies for you. Stay tuned.
I'm Jordan Gudeman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Eddie G's Cookies. I was first diagnosed with a nut allergy when I was young. At the time, there weren't a lot of labeled items that said if there may contain nuts or there are nuts in the food, so my brother and sister and I baked a lot at home, and we enjoyed treats from mixes and things like that, but I noticed that it was not the same.